Check one. Check two. Good morning, beautiful people. We're live, we're live, we're live, we're live. We're live.
Oh, hello, Mr. Soul. I dropped by to pick up your keys. Oh, the thought that I caught that my head is the event of the seas. Wine crowds just a trace of my face, but seems so pleased. I'll cop out to the change, but a stranger is putting the tease on.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Live.
I was down on a frown.
Mr. Neil Young in concert out there in LA on this last month, July 10. Sitting at the very, very beautiful piano. Looks like a Wurlitzer acoustic. Not acoustic. A Wurlitzer keyboard. I love it. I love it. Neil Young was rolling back to his roots, playing the piano single-handedly. Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conti reporting. On a very sad day, yesterday on the program, we talked about Devin Archer, the best friend of Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, who testified in front of the Congress, a closed-door hearing Congress, and told Congress that Joe Biden was on the phone doing shenanigans and illegal shit in the Ukraine, a hostile, according to the United States government, a hostile nation, dealing with Russian oligarchs, the dirty Russians taking their money and delivering favors. Yesterday we talked about a story, key witness, Devin Archer, gave that story. And less than, if you thought the Democrats were going to swallow that pill, you would be wrong. Today, August 1st, or yesterday, the federal judicial system, federal judges appointed by Obama in this case, issued another series of criminal indictments against Donald Trump for his involvement, his inciting criminality in the January 6th political rally, for lack of a better term. So this is true, unequivocal banana republic stuff. We've never seen this in our lives, where political parties are resorting to using the criminal justice system, the law enforcement in our country, to lock each other up. Now, the investigation into Hunter Biden is very real, is very damning how the obstruction worked, how they obstructed not only, namely the election itself in 2020, how Biden got in front of the story and made his corruption go away by accusing Trump of everything, including the kitchen sink. That is a very valid investigation. But with Trump, it's finding these parts of archaic old law to try to throw the number one Republican candidate in the race in fucking jail. Right? I've never seen anything like it. I think many political observers and talking heads are saying the same thing. We've never seen anything like this, where not even a day later, they didn't even wait a day, the Democratic Party and the Democrats in power, they didn't even wait a day to attack, right, and confuse the American people Talk about Trump. Nobody really knows what's going on with the Devon Archer testimony, how damning it is, and how many other politicians might be involved in these sorts of, quid pro quo deals. Right? Most of them are. Nancy Pelosi certainly was. Mitch McConnell definitely is. And people like Adam Schiff and you could even say Dr. Fauci. How much money did these people take to defend their opinions? But it is Banana Republic stuff. We have the indictment. It looks like a Obama black judge, federal judge in D.C., who threw more people in jail for the January 6th episode. The most severe judge ever in that situation is now appointed to oversee Trump's latest series of indictments, right? Where does it end? It's intimidation and election interference par excellence. It leads right back to Obama, of course, and everybody surrounding Obama, of course, because Obama was the president at the time that Joe Biden did all these shenanigans. The reason why Trump is getting fucking screwed and attacked is to cover. That's the cover for Joe Biden and Barack Obama. The shenanigans that they're caught doing. So again, we talked about it yesterday. I told you that the Democrats wouldn't lay down. And what did they do? Not even a day later, they issue 4 or 5 new ridiculous indictments against Trump. So look at that story. And thank you all for joining me in the chat here. Spirit Child in the house. Weevil Girl on the wrench. Thank you, Weevil Girl, for being here. Snake is in the house. So who else? Zutsu Cooter, what's up, champs? And everybody else who's lurking. Good morning. My name is Mark Sconti, and my screen is going black here. And that's my thumbnail today. There she is. That's the beautiful, wonderful Jamaican black judge appointed by Obama, smiling. Got to give Obama cover. This is the cover. It's the cover story, right? What do you think why do you think we nominated you to be judge? Because now it's time to give it back, right? Because the trail leads to Obama. There's no doubt about it. Trail leads right back to Obama regarding the way that quid pro quo and bribery abroad works. You send out your dogs. You sniff around a little bit to see who needs a favor, and then you get them, the people that are in trouble, to give you a lot of money, and then you go back to Washington and you give them a favor. But you put the money in your pocket. See, that's the difference. It's not like you're working on behalf of the American people. Oh, we go to a community and we see a problem, and then we go back to Washington and we fix the problem. Right? That's not what we're doing here. We're going out into the world, in this case, foreign hostile places like, Ukraine and fucking Russia, that are not generally friendly to the United States or anybody, really. And then we take that money that we get and we put it in our pocket, right? And then we tell the American people we're doing their business. There's a big difference here. What Trump did on January 6th is he believes, based on the evidence, that the election was rigged. That's what he believes. But the indictment says, no. He knew it all along, that the election was fair and just, and he did it anyway. He sent his people out into the world and down to the steps of Congress to protest and stop what was going on. Right? That's what all political rallies are, by the way. Political rallies are just that. It's people who get together to try to stop a injustice that they see. That is a constitutionally protected right in America. What Trump did, what the people did on January 6th, it's all legal. It's all very, very quintessential American. even the Black Lives Matter rallies, whether you like them or not, are legal and protected and in fact should be encouraged in our country. Right? Black Lives Matter brought light to a lot of police brutality that was being overlooked. So they get a round of applause for that. They made it a racial issue, but they definitely brought light to a perverted criminal justice system because they rallied and they talked about it. The people on January 6th did the same thing. They were at a political rally. Then they showed up at Congress to continue that political rally. Things got a little out of hand. People pushed their way into Congress, and once inside were very respectful of what was going on. The only death, the only murder in the whole case was a protester got shot in the face by a cop, Ashley Babbitt, if you remember. So how many people died in Black Lives Matter rallies? A lot of them. A lot of people. Look at the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, right? Where he gets attacked, he shoots 2.5 Antifa. They try to kill him. There's so many situations. These rallies tend to get out of hand. But to say that President Trump was the number one agitator and/or leader of this very, very, shitty rally that people didn't like. Why didn't you like the rally? Why didn't you like what the January 6 people were saying? Is because it shined light onto election fraud, election interference in this country, right? Shenanigans that have been talked about for years in this country, and nobody ever does anything about it. The shafting of Bernie Sanders. The Democrats are on record in 2016 claiming Trump stole the election. It was rigged. This is ongoing, and it's real. Right? When one party outscrews the other, there is election fucking shit going on. And it becomes you either suck it up and walk away, or you fight. Right? Most people, like Bernie Sanders, sucked it up and walked away. But Trump didn't, and he fought, and now three criminal cases later, while he's running for president, this is what happens. Right? It's banana republic. Right? Mikhail Sly reports 4 people died January 6th, all protesters, some innocent. All right, I only know of the one. I know Ashley Babbitt got shot in the face because I saw the video. But if you say 3 others did, I believe you. But they were all protesters. They're not fucking. No cops died. Nobody, no law enforcement, no politicians. Nobody got harmed. It was just when a lot of humans get together, they're like ants. Watch ants when they get together. They step on each other and step over each other. So we have no other choice but to look at this fascinating story as it unfolds. My name is Marcus Conte. Every morning, 9 a.m., educational, philosophical, intellectual, hypothetical at best, a live stream. We're here, we're live, we're on YouTube while we're allowed to. If you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere else, you might be saying, where have I been? I'm here every day, 9 a.m., no doubt about it. It's you who can't find me because of the fucking big tech filtering it out. Where you were once subscribed, you are no longer subscribed. You don't even know I exist. You probably don't even see my page. My page doesn't exist to you. That's what big tech is doing. But what does exist every day is marcusconte.com. If you can't find me, just come here and you'll find the link right to the videos. It's really simple. If we're not on YouTube, we're on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, everywhere. We'll always continue. We won't surrender to what? What am I doing? What am I doing that's wrong? I'm voicing an opinion, and for that, I need to be thrown into exile. So I'm a victim of this stuff too, sort of. So you can give to the program through Zelle and PayPal and Patreon. Let's start here. The Gildo Beach killer Rex Horman was in court, and they say he gave an icy stare. Here he is. The prosecution has delivered to the court a truckload of evidence, 13 years worth of evidence, to the court for this Massapequa Park guy who is allegedly the Gildo Beach killer. He killed 7, 8, 10 people, all young 20-year-old, pretty little girls, women, and hookers, maybe. And there he is, Horman. What a monster, right? If he did it, what a monster. There's his wife. His wife wasn't in court. Don't know really what I wanted to say about this other than he is definitely more and more every day looking like the guy who did it. And not just because he's in handcuffs and he's being dragged out the back door of a court. It's because of the truckload of information that they found, the DNA and such. So it is looking more and more. We have not seen the depth of the evidence against him. They say they got 8 terabytes of evidence to review. That's a lot of data. Right? And I don't know. It looks like he's definitely there, but he's back in court and looking like the guy. Help me with this one. Help me with this one, please. Now, human bear at Chinese zoo is seen waving in new video. Wow. In China, they've got bears that look like humans and wave to the crowd. Is it real? Is it a real bear? Is it half bear, half human? Because you know they do that shit in China. They mix up the genes and they made a bear out of some Chinese guy's sperm. Right? They take the Chinese guy's sperm and they take the bear egg. Right? And they mix that shit together and they put it back inside the female bear. And this is what comes out, right? It could have come out looking like a Chinese guy, but it came out looking like a bear, they say. But the bottom line is, watch the video and you tell me if this is a real bear. Is it a real bear? In Chinese, they're saying, how funny, how funny. That's what they're saying. In Chinese, in Mandarin, it's how funny, how funny. And then you hear hello. Listen.
Hello.
Is it a real bear? Boom, 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 boom. Is it a real bear? Is it a real bear? Right? It looks like a dude in a suit, right? Doesn't it look like that? Right? Waving. Now, it's not hard to believe that a bear learned how to wave. But look at this. Look at this thing. Is that a human or is that a bear? Look, is that a bear? Sure looks like a fucking bear to me, man. Or it's a great replica. Right? I don't know. I'm buying into the fact that it's a bear, and there's nothing else like it. The Hangzhou Zoo in China gained international interest after a video of one of its bears standing on its hind legs went viral, forcing officials to deny it was a human in costume. So it's a sun bear, 4-year-old sun bear. I don't know. What do you think? Hey, let's do a survey because I'm stuck on this one. I think it's one is real bear. Hold on. Let's do this. Survey says 1 is a real bear and 2 fake bear. Or 3 half bear, half human. What do you think it is? Go ahead, 1, 2, or 3. 1, it's a real bear, unequivocal, it's just a bear. 2, it's fake, it's a guy in a costume. And 3, it's a half a bear. It's bear fucking, it's bear. Right? Zutsukuda says it's a man bear. I think it's a man bear. I do. I'm going to go with man bear. I think it's a very interesting bear. I think it's real. I do not think it's a man in a costume, although someone can certainly build it. Mikkel Sly, animals in captivity take on human traits. I agree, 100%. Boom, because they're smart. Right? They see it. That's a bear, man. It's a bear. I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of mannerisms that seem to be human. I think they chop that shit in, cut that shit in there. Most people say it's a man bear. Man bear, man bear. Some people say Snake says fake. Fake. SETI says fake. Bears in the pig family. So okay, the jury's out on that one. But here she is. Well, I do kind of, but she's an Obama appointee. Her involvement with Theranos before Theranos was found to be a scam is really irrelevant. Nobody really knew the circumstances around that. If we're buffering, I apologize. Just click the refresh and it should pop back on. I see a little buffering going on. So D.C., the judge who will oversee former President Donald Trump's latest criminal case is known for harshly sentencing January 6th rioters and formerly representing the fraudulent blood testing company Theranos. Again, the Theranos thing is irrelevant. Toughest Punisher. Let's just find out a little about her. 61-year-old judge nominated by Barack Obama and was technically confirmed by the Senate without opposition, 54-40. She's Jamaican, born in Jamaica, graduated from the University of Pennsylvania Law School, very fine school. She is married to D.C. Superior Court Judge Peter Kruthammer, a pair of judges married with children. All right, so she's the judge who's going to oversee this thing. Can Trump get a fair case? Of course not. Can he get a fair trial? Of course not. Half the country won't even consider that Trump is innocent. They won't consider it. But here's the indictment. Filed on August 1st. That's yesterday. 41-page indictment handed down to Donald Trump in the District of Columbia. Another one. Trump has got a hat trick. He's got three criminal fucking cases hanging over his head. Going to cost $20 million to stay above water. They're going to try to drain him. Criminal charges. Trump. They're trying to say they're painting Trump as a criminal. Where have you ever seen this in modern history? They're just leveling off bizarre conspiracy to defraud the United States. Defraud the United States by voicing the opinion of millions and millions of people that based on the evidence that the elections are not really fair. That's defrauding the United States. It's ridiculous. Conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. No, there was nothing of the sort. Trump was in one place and the rioters and/or protesters went to the Congress on their own fucking coin because they believe that the elections were stolen. They believe it. Trump believes it. Whether it's true or not, Trump believes it. The January 6th people believe it. And that's the fact. And they're out there protesting. And that is protected speech, protected action. When you cross over the line and you break into the federal building, maybe you get a misdemeanor for breaking a window, but you don't get thrown in prison for years and have your life ruined by politicians saying you're a criminal. Obstruction of an attempt to obstruct. Right. So these are bullshit, ridiculous charges. Listen to number 2. Despite having lost, this is the wording of the indictment. Listen to this. Despite having lost, the defendant was determined to remain in power. So for more than 2 months following Election Day on November 3rd, the defendant spread lies that there had been outcome determinative fraud in the election and that he had actually won. These claims were false, and the defendant knew that they were false. How are you going to prove that someone knew something was false? There's no way of proving that. Trump believed it based on the evidence. The sitting president at the time was looking at the evidence that our elections are not fucking one person, one vote. They're deeply, deeply rigged. And that's what he was talking about. But the defendant repeated and widely disseminated them anyway to make his knowingly false claims appear legitimate, create an intense national atmosphere of mistrust and anger, and erode public faith in the administration of the election. Now, you talk about whipping a wild conspiracy, right? That is a wild, illogical, incomprehensible, stupid, right? Assumption that Trump was some sort of genius mastermind manipulating, playing 4D chess. No, Trump saw what he saw. He told the American people, and the American people backed what he was saying. That's what presidents do. They speak to the people, not the fucking deep state. So just based on number 2 alone is ridiculous. All right, so that's what's going on there. And Barack Obama and Michelle Obama we reached out for comment, but they were out on their kayak. There's Barack Obama and Michelle Obama getting the news that Trump is got a 3rd indictment against him because, hey man, we can't have that shit. You know, we can't be having. We need to stay on the kayak and keep the money machine rolling, right? So this is a nice clip from the lead guy, the guy with the horns on January 6th. I forget his name. Here he is.
Curious about how people reacted to you in the prison.
Interesting curiosity. Some of the minority communities, for a brief time, thought that I was racist because they watched CNN. You know what I mean? But then all it took was 5 minutes of conversing with me, and they realized this guy's not racist at all. This guy's all right. I actually kind of like him.
Nice. So no one tried to beat you up or anything like that?
No, I was there. I was at a prison, the prison I was at, there was a riot. And actually a lot of the guys that were in the unit that I was in, as I was like looking out the window, they're like, Chansley, get away from the window. They see you, they might come in here and pull you out and beat your ass. So get away from the window. There's good people in prison that just made really bad decisions.
Of course.
Right? But there's also, and anybody that's been to prison will tell you, there's some scumbags, there's some dirtbags, there's some not good people, and they deserve to be in prison.
I'm glad he put the costume back on. Cheeseburger says it's funny. You were pointing out to the clip that Obama and his wife are in a kayak, and it's right after the drowning. Let's not forget about the drowning in Barack Obama's backyard, where the chef mysteriously fucking drowned in the backyard in the pond. All right. Where was Barack Obama and Michelle Obama? They didn't know nothing about it. Nothing about it. What did the chef know? I don't know. Maybe he voted for Trump and they killed him. Something. So Vivek Ramaswamy is going to sum up legally and intellectually what is going on with Trump in his own words. I like this guy. I like what he's saying. I like, is he presidential material? What do I know? To me, he is. To many Americans, he might not be. But let's listen to his very, very sharp brain analyze what's happening to Trump.
The 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump, has yet again been indicted by the Biden DOJ, a political party in power that is now repeatedly using police force to indict and arrest and potentially eliminate its political opponents from competition. This is a politicized prosecution. It is a political persecution through prosecution, now in a 3rd indictment just in a matter of months.
He's absolutely right what he's saying, Vivek Ramaswamy. We've been saying it for 2 years before Vivek was on the scene, but it is clear, right? And now they're just ramping it up. And the timing is unprecedented. Again, Devin Archer testified yesterday that Joe Biden and his son were involved in deep quid pro quo in Ukraine and Russia. They turned around and impeached Trump for trying to expose it. They smeared Trump. They weighed the election in favor of Biden, who really couldn't put 100 people in front of him, where Trump was filling up stadiums. It's all quite clear how the system works. And, bright guys, bright young men like Vivek Ramaswamy are talking about it, which I respect totally.
Against the person who is still at present the lead contender in the Republican primary for U.S. president. I want to be very clear. I am running for U.S. president in that same Republican primary. It would be easier for me if Donald Trump were eliminated from competition. That's not how I want to win. This is not about politics to me. This is about first principles. We do not want to become a country where the party in power is able to use banana republic-like tactics to eliminate its political opponents.
That's what used to go on in Panama, in Ecuador, in these third world countries where one party would run against the majority party, and the majority party would prosecute and or kill them before they got any power. Right? We're having the same situation here, where the elections are being settled. The elections are being determined and or weighed in federal courts with criminal prosecutions against each other. None of these criminal prosecutions against Biden, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, or Donald Trump are ever going to see the light of day before the election. All right, but the idea is to confuse the American people. That's what the Democratic Party is going to hear for the next year and a half leading up to the election. Donald Trump is a criminal. He obstructed and misled the American people. And Trump is going to say the elections were rigged, and Joe Biden and his son are influence peddlers. That's how they make their wealth. Trump is going to say, I make my wealth in real estate and selling my brand to casinos, and as an actor on the Apprentice, and I write books. I'm a very, very popular guy, and I make money doing that. Right? Whereas Joe Biden, the only popularity and the only thing that he has is his political influence, and that's what he sells. Right? And that's what Trump was trying to point out. I am a made man. I don't need their money. Right? I make my own money. Right? I make my own money the old-fashioned American way by participating in the activities around me, and I make money based on my talent. Whereas Joe Biden doesn't have that. Joe Biden and his cronies, people like Joe Biden, sell their influence, and that is really bad. That's really bad, right? And that's what we're trying to cover up. Is Trump deliberately trying to throw Biden in jail? No, Trump is not doing any of that. Trump has no power. Trump's some guy now a former president who lives in Florida, and none of the establishment likes. So, but anyway, I'm sorry. Vivek, tell the story.
Yet I'm sad to say that's exactly where we are. The allegations in this indictment fall flat. It is wrong and incorrect and inaccurate to place blame for what happened on January 6th at the feet of Donald Trump. I said this at the time. I've said it ever since then. I continue to say it today. I would not have made the same judgments that Donald Trump did in how he handled that day. But that's different.
Nobody will, right? Vivek, don't throw Trump under the bus. Trump did what he thought was right. Right? You may have done the same thing based on what you were seeing as the sitting president of the United States. So you don't know. You don't know what Trump was looking at, right? Trump was the sitting president. He had access, the highest levels of access, right? Don't forget that. Trump was the president.
From saying that he committed a crime. He did not. He specifically told the protesters that day to behave peacefully. The First Amendment.
He did. He went. Trump went out in front of the cameras and said, "The violence is not the way. Go home. Stop it."
In this country gives political protesters the ability to express themselves and their opinions freely. Donald Trump was not responsible for what happened on January 6th. You want to know what was responsible? I said this in the days after January 6th.
Merrick Garland, the DOJ head, said it. Isn't he public saying that there's no connection between Trump and January 6th? It's just one. It was a cascade of events. Right? Trump says something and people do something else. And now there's criminal charges. Right? A day after Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were getting thrown under the bus. One day later.
2021, just as I say it today. Systematic, pervasive censorship in this country. That was after a year where we had told people across this nation that you had to stay locked down in your house, in your basement.
Let's look at the markets. The markets are open. We're looking graded U.S. debt from AAA to AA plus. So that's why the markets are a little under pressure right now, and it's not a little bit. We're getting a little slammed right here. The Nasdaq is down 191, while my computer freezes. Everything is frozen. No, please don't freeze. Don't freeze. Don't freeze, baby, baby, baby. I think we are experiencing some frozenness. I'm stuck here. Just bear with me. I think we're rolling again. Okay, we're rolling. Oh, yeah, so I was talking about the stock market. Yeah, NASDAQ is down 188. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 124. S&P 500 down 36. See, the meme stock's a little off this morning. Tilray, $2.34, down 3 cents. Rivian down $1.27 to 26. Q's, the TQQQ, down $1.81 to 43.15. Ouch. So Nasdaq Ultra is down 4% at the moment. I would call that a buy opportunity. It really is. Right? When it goes down, you buy it. When it goes up, you sell it. Apple looking to report earnings tomorrow, Thursday. Amazon as well looking to report earnings tomorrow, both down $2 a share. Meta down 6, Microsoft down 4, Nvidia down 11, Tesla down 4. So down day, obviously. Anything up? Holy vaccine stock, Johnson & Johnson, up 78 cents. Pfizer, Moderna, both down. Military industrial complex stocks, both down. Everything red. Yeah. So down day on a downgrade, U.S. debt downgrade. What's the matter? The United States we're not good for the money anymore? Were we ever? Why all of a sudden? So I don't know. I think that's likely not to stick. I don't know, man. That's a steep burn right there. That's a burn down. Bob Bang on the floor. I don't know. I think we're still going up. That's still the NASDAQ trajectory. Although we're down right now at this moment. In the first 4 hours, I think we'll be back at least to where we were yesterday, and then higher is my prediction there. So what else we got here? Vivek Ramaswamy. Let's listen to Biden administration doesn't realize what they've done. Fox News reporting.
Fox News alert. Biden's Justice Department has just brought criminal charges against Donald Trump, his political opponent, for the third time in 4 months. This time the charges relate to January 6th.
Good evening. Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding.
This is what a tool looks like, by the way. If you don't know what a political tool looks like or what it is, this is a guy, his name is Bill Smith, I believe. And he's the special counsel to go after Trump. Look how nervous. Look how one-pointed he is. He's out to get Trump. That's his job. That's what he was hired to do, and probably paid a lot of money to do it. He's being paid big bucks to take Trump down. And this is what he looks like. He's looks like with the beard, looks very conservative. He looks very believable and American, really.
Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding. The indictment.
Unbelievable Banana Republic stuff. Criminal indictments for voicing political opinion as the sitting president of the United States. Utter, total, ridiculous nonsense. I really, really hope America sees this. I really, really hope that people take a look at what's going on in that respect. And they'll always say, oh, well, what about the Biden thing is all bullshit. No, it's not bullshit. This is bullshit. When you objectively look at both situations, you realize that one is a reaction to the other. Trump was blowing the whistle on election shenanigans, and the result was criminal prosecution after he left office. That's the reality of it. Also, and again, quid pro quo, which Trump was openly against, taking money from foreign fucking adversaries, and putting the money in your pocket and doing the American business of America some other way.
It was issued by a grand jury of citizens here in the District of Columbia, and it sets forth the crimes charged in detail.
That was Special Counsel Jack Smith, who looked like a bedraggled, nervous wreck, dripping with anger and highly emotional. The last time Jack Smith charged a politician, the case was so weak it got tossed out of the Supreme Court unanimously. Biden's Justice Department is using obscure federal statutes to put a former president in prison for the rest of his life. These charges aren't bribery, not assault, not tax evasion, not sex trafficking. Mm-hmm. They're charging Trump under the Act of 1866. It was used against the Klan, and now they're using it against Trump. Here are the specific charges. Count 1, conspiracy to defraud the United States. Count 2, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Count 3, conspiracy or attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. And count 4, conspiracy against rights. Okay, now here's how they're saying Trump broke the law. They're saying Trump lied.
It occurs to me that obstructing a official proceeding, right? By being outside waving flags, you're trying to obstruct a proceeding. No, you're voicing your opinion, even if it got out of hand. The politicians, look, there's videos of other countries where politicians start punching each other in the face. In this country, not even 150 years ago, politicians would agree to go out into the field with guns and shoot at each other. Right? They used to duel in this country. There's a former vice president in this country that got shot like that. He had a duel with some business guy, and the business guy shot him in the heart, and he died. Right? That's how they used to settle indifferences. So if Nancy Pelosi and fucking AOC are so frightened of a bunch of, protesters voicing what they know to be true, which is election shenanigans, then they shouldn't be there. They shouldn't. Their fear is unmerited. Remember, AOC also said during the Bernie days that the elections were deeply rigged against Bernie Sanders. That's one of the main reasons why AOC got elected in New York, because she was on the progressive side of that argument. She was a Bernie backer, and based on the fact that Bernie was getting screwed, and everybody knew it. It's very well documented in the DNC fraud lawsuit. The fact that when you review the episodes of 2016, how Bernie Sanders was robbed, how the DNC basically rigged the thing against him working with media, working behind the scenes with the FBI, using, fucking bizarre, scrubbing servers, right? Maybe even killing somebody, Seth Rich, right? Killing the kid, killing the snitch.
That the election was fraudulent when he really knew the election was clean, and that these lies made it hard for the government to...
David Brown says, the Democrats haven't been this upset since the slaves were taken from them. Good fucking comment.
To certify the election. Now, first, they said Trump called a bunch of state legislators in Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania.
Weevil Girl points out the more they come after Trump, the more they reveal their own corrupt agenda.
Michigan, and Wisconsin, and tried to get them to investigate election fraud, hold hearings. Okay? Then the government says Trump tried to get some states to send in Trump electors instead of Biden electors.
Everybody agrees that the Jack Smith, special counsel, looks very nervous.
And only a tiny handful of states did that. They mailed in some Trump electors to the archivist and to the Senate, and then the Senate threw them in the garbage and ratified the Biden electors. That was it. Then they're saying Trump broke the law when he asked Pence to do the right thing, to not certify and kick it back to the states. That was a different legal.
Did you know that there's a simple combination of natural ingredients that will help you poop out pounds of old rotten waste in your colon within just a matter of days?
All right.
Without the side effects commonly associated with laxatives.
Okay.
In the last year, hundreds of thousands of people have jumped on this and are effortlessly dropping pounds of excess poop weight without needing
Legal interpretation than many people.
Dropping excess poop weight, right? So when you're watching a Trump, when you're watching Fox, you get interrupted with a poop commercial. Isn't that wonderful in America? I can pay to not have that happen. I can become YouTube Prime. But I like the commercials because it tells me what they're trying to sell me. And maybe because I'm 60, they think or almost 60, they think I'm full of shit. Right? So they're sending me, they're fucking spamming me with full of shit commercials. Literally, full of shit. Here, cleanse out the shit in your colon. When was the last time you cleaned your colon, motherfucker?
People had at the time, but it was a difference of opinion. And it didn't matter because Pence didn't do it. And then they're saying the January 6th protesters, because of Trump's lies, slowed down the certification for a couple hours. That's it. Those are the charges.
Yep.
Now, I know this doesn't count in a court of law, but do you think Trump had any idea that he was breaking the law when he was asking Mike Pence not to certify? And
there's no laws. That's the point. These are speech is not against the law. He's suggesting to Trump. Anyway, it's rather obvious that there were no crimes committed. But what is real is a pile of indictments to throw Trump in jail. That is very real, based on the evidence that is incredibly conspiratorial and circumstantial at best.
How are you going to prove that Trump knew there wasn't any election fraud?
You can't, because Trump knows that there is election fraud. You can't prove it. You can't prove what doesn't exist. There's no legal basis for these accusations. This is what election interference looks like in America. Prosecute your political enemies, get them to bow a knee, get them to get out of the way. If Trump wins, well, I don't know, man. If Trump wins and Trump doesn't, stop this nonsense, wow, then it continues. Is Trump capable of winning and then forgetting all about this stuff? Yes, absolutely. Trump could win, gain power, and say, oh, let's forgive and forget. He could do that. Or he could turn around and drain the swamp as he said he once would. But if he loses, what happens? I think it's the same. I think if Trump wins, he probably has more problems with these aggressive agitators. And if he loses, he'll just, if he goes quietly into the background, all the cases will go away, pretty much, right? Because they're fake. They're not based in law, right? And they won't hold up at a Supreme Court level. No way. Especially Trump is the guy, the single person who appointed the majority of the Supreme Court at this point. Not the majority, but 3 really good players.
And how are you going to prove that these were corrupt intentions if Trump thought he was doing the righteous thing? You can't. It was just politics. It's all politics. He was pushing it as far as he could, and maybe he pushed it a little too far.
Maybe.
But should he die in prison for that? I don't think the Biden administration realizes what it's done here. It's going to give Donald Trump the opportunity to relitigate the 2020 election in federal court.
That's very true too. That's a good point, Jesse Waters. You're giving Trump the federal platform, right? A platform to tell the American people just how corrupt the system is, right? In federal court.
This is what Donald Trump's been dying to do for the last 2.5 years.
Yep.
He's going to have subpoena power. He's going to cross-examine witnesses. He's going to put on his own witnesses.
Right. That's why the case will never come to fruition before the election. They'll link. It's not meant to be a trial. It's not real. It's a smokescreen. Right. Look over here. Don't look over there. Yes. Hunter Biden and all the dirty Democrats and Joe Biden himself and probably Barack Obama are deeply involved in quid pro quo. Don't look at that. Quid pro quo, what does that even mean, man? I don't know what the fucking word means. Don't look at the fact that they take bribes and they put the money in their pocket and give a favor. Don't look at any of that. Look at the fact that President Trump at the time was saying the elections are not fair and that we should have a closer look. Let's stop what we're doing right now and take a look. All right, let's look at the evidence before we ratify this election. That's what Trump was saying. And he told his vice president the same.
He's going to go out and prove or try to prove there was election fraud in Philly, Vegas, Arizona, Detroit. And the federal government is going to have to prove that it was clean in those deep blue counties.
Right.
That's going to be a fun one to follow.
Yep.
So Trump's due in court on Thursday for the January 6 charges. So in case you're keeping score at home, Donald Trump will be on trial in 3 different courtrooms next year, an election year, while he's running for president, while he's fundraising, and while he's debating.
Yep.
So
they're going to try to. That's a great way to get the people that were going to give money to Trump to not give money to Trump. Banks are not going to give an indicted person facing 30 or 40 felony charges for defrauding the American public. They're not going to give him money in goodwill. They can't. Why? Because they're aiding and abetting a possible criminal. So they're going for Trump's fundraising pockets, the deep pockets that make it possible for you to win. That's how they're doing it. It's kangaroo court shit, really. Kangaroo republic.
he'll be in court on bookkeeping charges.
So I think we got enough of that. That's another Vivek Ramaswamy ad. So that's all I wanted to say today. Welcome to the Banana Republic, everybody. It is fascinating times we live in, unprecedented, times. I don't know where it all leads. I think, I guess it comes down again to take care of yourself, enjoy the great outdoors, breathe, relax. Don't take it personal. Don't take it literal. Certainly don't get into arguments with people that are not paying attention, because 90% of the population is not paying attention right now. Nobody's following the fucking next presidential election right now. But we are. We're talking about it because you could see what these indictments are piled on, which is essentially a pile of garbage, right? It's bullshit. So Marcus Conte reporting. See you guys tomorrow.
In a while will a smile